So, that was some Nintendo Direct, huh? What up, it's your boy Geronimo, and we're back again. Welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for watching my videos. Just want to give a friendly reminder, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're loving the content here, the coverage on the road to Switch 2, and all sorts of gaming, go ahead and give a like on the video and subscribe for more. Okay, so we pretty much had the Nintendo Direct just happen. It was on March 27th, and it said it was going to be approximately 30 minutes. We got about 35-36 minutes of information, mostly games, a couple other different things, which we'll talk on later in the video. But we'll kind of just do a quick rundown of what they showed, what in what order and when they're releasing. So they opened the Nintendo Direct with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes, which we got revealed last year, I believe in the last Nintendo Direct. It was revealed with the re-reveal of Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. Just showed a bit of gameplay, some of both games, and it looks like it's still slated to come out in 2025. Of course, these will be coming out on everything else as well, but it's the Nintendo Direct, so they're going to focus on their platform. After that, it looks like we got a new the Somnium files, which is called No Sleep for Kaname Date, which I believe is the main protagonist. I guess this is pretty much the Somnium Files 3, and these games have been pretty successful, so it's cool to see a third one come out, and that one will be out on July 25th. Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. Looks like another one of those Atlas remakes or remasters. Well, it says remastered, so it's obviously a remaster, but it looks really good, like a really high quality remaster. It pretty much has that Shin Megami Tensei aesthetic, which is pretty recognizable even within anime. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. It seems to be some mystery game. That should be dropping June 19th, 2025. And we saw the Shadow Labyrinth, which is that edgy PAC-MAN action platformer. I guess it's either an action platformer or a Metroidvania. I'm not too sure at this moment, but we did get more look at it. And for those that watch the show on Amazon Secret Level, yes, this game is based off of that animation, and it is definitely an odd, edgy, darker take on Pac-Man in some aspect, but I'm kind of into it. Like, it looks like you run around, you beat people up, and you kind of trigger this huge Pac-Man to kind of gobble the enemy, and you can kind of merge together and form like this big, like, I guess like a mech almost. It looks like a mech, but it's interesting. I'm definitely interested in checking it out. I don't know if I'll check it out day one, but it's definitely on my radar. It looks like that one will be dropping July 18th, 2025. Now here it gets interesting. So we got Patapon 1 and 2 replay. Patapon are PlayStation games. Those are on PSP back in the day, in the 2000s. And it's weird to see them here like this. And not only that, it looks like Bandai Namco is either publishing this or publishing and developing these remastered versions. And these are rhythm games, so I've played them a little bit back in the day. They're pretty cool. It's definitely reminiscent of that age where, PlayStation cared about these AA mid-tier type of games, or at least found on handheld, so it's cool to see them back. Those will also be coming out July 11th, 2025. And then we also got another Story of Seasons. It's not a Nintendo Direct without another farming sim. And by farming sim, I mean another Story of Seasons. And this is Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. This is coming out August 27th, 2025. And from what I understand, this is a remake of a DS game. It looks really nice, so very high quality, so this will probably do well. Now we finally get another look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Looks like this kind of attempts to pick up where we left off on the previous trailer from last year in 2024. We see Samus going through this lush area, which the planet is called Viewros. I'm sorry, Viewros. That's the name of the new planet. And it's very lush. It's got a lot of like overgrown, foresty look and everything. The things I noticed in this trailer, though, for sure, outside of some of the new mechanics, it does look like you can backdash instead of just side dashing now, which is pretty dope. We've never seen that in the other 3 Metroid Prime games. And the new mechanic, which was revealed here, Samus gets psychic abilities. Wow. So she can use her left hand and kind of do puzzles and like open doors or activate mechanisms to access different areas. And we also saw a part where she fires from her arm cannon, and it looks like you can control the trajectory of that projectile, and the enemies kind of stay frozen in motion. Seems kind of busted, but knowing Retro Studios, they're gonna make us use it for many things. I will not be surprised if some of the upgrades for the 100% are going to be pretty challenging this time, or at least make us think outside the box. But yeah, and then we also saw she's got a brand new suit at the very end of the trailer. It's all red. Looks really slick. It kind of reminds me of the light suit a little bit from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, but it's red. I'm talking about how sleek it looks overall. It's really nice, really nice. The game looks phenomenal, gorgeous visuals, and yeah, it looks fantastic. So we only have a date for 2025 again, but honestly, we'll probably get that showing, a better showing, and the full release date at the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd. So after that, we kind of get back into our third parties. We have Disney Villains Cursed Cafe, which is some sort of a Disney-esque game, I guess. Cozy? I'm not sure, but it was a shadow drop today. It came out. Witchbrook, which is a game by Chucklefish. It looks to be like a pixel art, isometric, how to become a witch or wizard game. I remember this being announced, oh man, it's been a minute, at least 3 years ago, right? I think it might have been announced in the Indie Direct or maybe a regular Direct. But it does look really nice, I'm not gonna lie. It looks really cool. And all we know for that is that it comes out holiday 2025. We got another look at the Eternal Life of Goldman, which is a platformer, but it has a really nice kind of distinct hand-drawn art style. And we're going to be getting that in holiday 2025 as well. So for the shmup fans, the shoot 'em up fans, Gradius Origins, a new collection. I never played the Gradius games, but I am aware of their existence. Looks like this collection will have Gradius, Salamander, Life Force, Gradius 2, Gradius 3, Salamander 2, and apparently a brand new game called Salamander 3. Now, but how they framed it in the Direct, it didn't seem like Salamander 3 was a separate release. It seemed to be bundled into this collection. So you don't really see that many collections of like retro games with a brand new one tacked on the end. I'm not sure if this is a brand new game, as in it was made in the past couple of years, or if it's like a game that was just from back in the day and, you know, now is getting fully released. I'm not sure the full story there. It's interesting though. It looks really good. And that's coming out August 7th, 2025. Rift of the NecroDancer, another rhythm game. We saw this thing last year, I believe. Honestly, I thought this was out already. I'm not gonna lie. I actually thought this came out and everyone kind of did their thing with it. But yeah, it looks like it's actually out now. It was a shadow drop. They also talked about having some third-party DLC for some collaborations. Like they had Celeste. I think they had Madeline in there. And they also had Peppino from Pizza Tower, of course. You know, that game has a super cult following. So yeah, and then after that, we got Tamagotchi Plaza. I don't know too much about these Tamagotchi games. I just know they exist as well. But yeah, that's June 27th, 2025. And we get back into some Nintendo first party. We get the another look at Pokemon Legends ZA. This one is cool though. It looks like we see a bit more of the city. It looks like, I don't know, maybe it's just how they did this trailer, but it looks visually better than the first one we got at the Pokemon Presents in February this year. Maybe it's just me. You know, sound off in the comments if you think it looks better than the February one, or you think it just all looks ugly. But overall, I am pretty excited for this new Pokemon game. I really love Pokemon Legends Arceus. It was really refreshing to get a new take on the Pokemon formula, more of a dedicated single player focus. You know, we're not just trying to get the 8 badges, defeat the Elite Four and the champion, and thwart some pesky, nefarious team trying to take people's Pokemon or cause natural disasters or awaken, you know, other dimensional legendary Pokemon. You know, nothing like that. It looks like we're just walking around Lumio City in Kalos region from Pokemon X and Y with 3DS. And the kicker here is when it turns nighttime, apparently that's when the trainers come out. And the reason why the title of the game is called Z to A is because these trainers that come out at night, it's kind of adding to like some tournament type thing where you have to rise in ranks. and you rise from the letter Z to the letter A. Now, we don't know anything else about like actual plot or, you know, other type of things like that. I think we really need to see the game fully in motion, and especially to get a better grasp on how the actual moves are, since it's more action-based and not turn-based now. But yeah, another good showing, actually a better showing than last time. And it's looking like that's going to be a late 2025 release. I'm predicting that we will get this shown again, possibly with the actual release date on the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd. And then after that, one of my favorite announcements. Actually, no, this is my favorite announcement. Finally, at long last, and it's been over a decade since a brand new one. I feel like it's been nearly 15 years. I feel like it's been close to that. But Rhythm Heaven Groove. We got a new Rhythm Heaven coming, y'all. I'm excited. Rhythm Heaven Fever was really cool, and I always meant to get the 3DS one, which is supposed to be like a compilation of all the Rhythm Heavens, or most of them, but really was a big fan of Rhythm Heaven Fever on the Wii. And yeah, it's just a rhythm game with some, you know, kind of charming, kooky characters, really catchy tunes. Some have even become memes over time, as some of y'all might know. But yeah, the only thing about this that kind of took the wind out of my sails just a little bit is that it's only coming out in 2026. We don't have like a season or a month or anything, just 2026. So on one hand, it's good that Nintendo is showing commitment to this current Nintendo Switch, as, you know, past few months or a few months ago, we just had another holiday period. So surely people have been picking up their first Switch back then, whether it be families or folks that like to wait towards the tail end of a generation to, you know, just load up on all the games. But yeah, 2026, new Rhythm Heaven, we out here. I can't wait. So after this, we get a little sizzle reel. I'll see if I can kind of go through these quickly too. High on Life by Squanch Games. That's that kooky first-person shooter by the people who do Rick and Morty. That's May 6, 2025. Star Overdrive. You know, I got a video on the channel. You can check the thing that pops up on the top right there for my full playthrough of the demo that's been out. But this is out on April 10th. Looking forward to that one a lot. The Wandering Village, July 17th, 2025. King of Meat, what a name, 2025. Lose Lagoon, shout out to alliteration, that's in summer 2025. Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, May 21st. I think we kind of knew this already, May 21st, 2025, but it's cool to see it here in the sizzle reel at least. That frame rate wasn't looking too hot in the direct, but hey, you know, hopefully it doesn't reflect the final game on this Switch at least. Saga Frontier 2 Remastered. So that's a shadow drop. I'm not familiar with the Saga Frontier series. All I know is that it's Square Enix RPGs, and it's kind of got that 16-bit style. Or is it 32-bit? I'm not sure. Either way, Saga Frontier 2 is out now. We got a collection of puzzle games, Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2. Those will be out April 15th, 2025, so that's only 2-3 weeks from now. And then they announced a Monument Valley 3. I don't know if this is just a brand new game. I guess it is, because the release date is summer 2025. And yeah, it seems to be kind of like a more isometric, visual trickery type puzzle game. Like, it's got some MC Escher type stuff going on. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots. Another former PlayStation exclusive is here. Wow. Now this is not like Patapon, where it's a remaster of the first two games. This is a brand new Everybody's Golf. So for those who don't know, Everybody's Golf is like a newer take on the Hot Shots Golf series from all the way back on PlayStation. It was made by a studio named Clap Hands. They were with PlayStation. I'm not sure if they were like owned by them, or they kind of did like they always worked with them to release their games, like how Kirby and HAL Labs are of Nintendo. But yeah, this seems to be a brand new one, and not only that, it's being developed by Bandai Namco, another Bandai Namco joint collab with Sony. This is interesting. We're definitely gonna have a new video talking about this, so look out for that in the near future. But yes, to get back on track here, that is only slated for holiday 2025. Another highlight of the Direct, Marvel Cosmic Invasion We got Dotemu Publishing and Tribute Games, which consists primarily of a lot of the Scott Pilgrim versus the World beat 'em up team from back in the day. They're making this as a Marvel beat 'em up game, and it looks like the main villain is Annihilus, which is interesting, pretty cool. We don't see Annihilus in, too many brand new Marvel games, I should say. So it's cool to see that. The roster they showed, we saw Captain America, Steve Rogers, Logan Wolverine, Spider-Man, of course, Peter Parker Spider-Man. We also saw Storm as well. We also saw some cooler additions like Nova, which I think that's Richard Rider. His hair looks longer in this, based on how they did the sprites. So I'm 99% sure it's Richard Rider, but if anyone is more familiar with the long hair look under the Nova Corps get up, feel free to let me know in the comments as well. But also there was oh man, what was her name? Shia Lavelle? Oh man, I always forget how to say her name, but she's a cool deep cut. She's not been in anything MCU. She's from the comics. She's kind of like another Kree type person, superpowered individual. So that's really cool to see. So we got some cosmic representatives here, and it's coming out in holiday 2025. We don't know much else about like the roster or anything like that outside of what they showed here. I think we saw like 6 characters. I did hear that there will be up to 15 though, but I guess next time we see it, we should get our full roster. But yeah, it's looking awesome. So I would suppose people who are fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, or even Streets of Rage 4, I'd say check this one out. It looks pretty dope. And then of course we close out as far as games are concerned on Tomodatchi Life: Living the Dream. Now, all I know about this game is that it was actually pretty popular on the 3DS. I have some friends that are really into this, and it's kind of like Nintendo's kooky, goofier take on The Sims with Mii characters, and you can name them, and all the characters talk with these funny robot voices. It's probably off-putting for those just not familiar with the game at all, but it's got its own charm. And honestly, a lot of people were hype about this. I saw some reactions online too, more reactions than I expected. So yeah, this might be a 2026 banger, like straight up, especially for like streamers. But yeah, again, that's another 2026 release, just like Rhythm Heaven Groove. So that's 2 more Switch games for 2026. So for those that just got a Switch and you're now getting into the library, don't worry, you got new games coming. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Nintendo Direct as far as the game announcements are concerned. At the very end, they also talked about a new mobile app called Nintendo Today, which is, I guess it's kind of like an app where they want to deliver as much news to us as possible. And it also has like a calendar system, and it has some other little neat things in there that I don't know if Nintendo is putting out elsewhere, like artwork for characters, little cute animations. Like there's like a Pikmin short in there right now. I highly recommend y'all check it out, especially if you're familiar with the Pikmin shorts from the Wii U when Pikmin 3 was coming out back in 2013, I believe. Yeah, 2013. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Now, the other thing that we do have here that they showed was a new feature on the Switch, which I will be talking about now. So at the tail end of the Nintendo Direct, we actually got virtual game cards, which is pretty interesting. It seems like a way, as Nintendo calls it, make digital games easier to use. Interesting. I had to look into this a bit further because in the Direct they kind of explained it, but I felt like it wasn't as concise as it could have been. So essentially what you can do, it treats your digital game purchases like a virtual game card where you can transfer it from, or as they call it, digitally eject from one Switch to the other. And it's going to be on both the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. This update will be coming out in about late April is what they said, which is intriguing because I wonder if that's a hint to the Switch 2's launch. Personally, I think it's coming out in May or early June, so I don't think it's that soon, in late April, but we'll see very soon. But yeah, I just wanted to go through the site here where it gives us some visuals. You basically open the home menu. There'll be a new icon called Virtual Game Cards right here. And then You can view your digital library, and it kind of shows them as if they're all like game cartridges. A nice little visual for it. Virtual game cards may not be available for demos, and some Nintendo Switch Online member exclusive games. Makes sense. So like Tetris 99, F-Zero 99, games like that. And then you can select the game you want to load and start playing as soon as the game is downloaded. So you can load on the current system that you're on, or you can load it on another system, or you can lend it to a family member. Now, the kicker with this, though, especially with lend to a family member, you can only do it locally. You cannot do it online. So that is important to take note of. But this is a very interesting thing that they're just kind of creating now. I think they're doing this as another option to kind of have like a way to share games on more than one Switch device. Though they have a current system where you have to have your profile on 2 Switches, and you have to have one as a primary, one is not. That gets kind of crazy as well. But I know others have definitely been doing that since it was a feature, during the Switch gen. But yeah, you can move your games between each system. So this might be good for digital Switch 1 games once we all get our Nintendo Switch 2, and we want to move some of our Switch 1 games over. This might be the way to kind of do it in a sense. But yes, you can also lend games to members of the Nintendo account family group. So those can be up to 8 people, especially for the expansion pack NSO, Nintendo Switch Online. But the only thing you have to take note of, you can lend 1 game per account for 14 days, unless the borrower returns it earlier. After the game is returned, the borrower will still have their save data, so they'll be able to start where they left off if they borrow it again or purchase the game. So I do like that. That's pretty nice, actually. That's pretty good. So it says both local wireless and internet communication are required for lending software. Please note that some games, such as games available only as part of Nintendo Switch Online membership, cannot be lent out. So yes, it seems kind of limited in a sense, but I think it's for people within the same household that want to share their games back and forth, because ultimately Nintendo wants at least 2 Switches per home. That's pretty much what they said. Now, the really cool thing about this, though, and it's not even really truly about this system that they're introducing, it's really down here. It's at the bottom of the page. They give discrepancies. It's available on Switch, Switch Lite, and Switch OLED models in late April 2025, and then it requires a system update, so you need to be connected to the internet to do that. However, what they say, Nintendo Switch exclusive games and Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games. Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games means we are actually going to get Switch 2 versions of existing Switch 1 games, which is exciting. That is amazing, y'all. That means it's very, very, very likely that we're going to get a Switch 2 edition of Metroid Prime 4 and games like Pokemon Legends Z to A. That's amazing. Now, I don't know if this means they're going to go back and get like Zelda Breath of the Wild or Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and do this for a Switch 2 edition, but the sky's the limit, man. Like I've been really hoping Nintendo would do this, especially as a transition into the Switch 2 permanently. But yeah, this is awesome. It's gonna be a way more capable system too, so hopefully we get some serious performance boosts from it as well. Overall though, the Nintendo Direct was short but pretty sweet. We had some really interesting surprise announcements, some that have been highly requested, at least from us hardcore Nintendo fans. Like, of course, a new Tomodatchi Life and that new Rhythm Heaven. Can't wait to hear more about it as we go on through the year. But yeah, I think it was a pretty decent appetizer for the main event, Switch 2 Direct, April 2nd. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you have any other comments about the Direct, what was your favorite game shown? Or what was something you were expecting to see? Was it a rumor? Was it a game that you think should have been announced? Let me know in the comments, and I chat up down there with you guys. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. Peace out.